This story takes place 27 years after the First Corporate War. The Nest by Sean Carrière. Chapter 25. 5 minutes may not seem like long to most, but it can be plenty to some. No sooner had the lady bounty hunter and the big friendly bounty hunter were out the front doors, Mouse had jumped to her feet and ran across the room to where all the gear was stacked. She didn't mind that her hands were still secured with plastic cuffs as she'd worked in more cramped conditions before. The Lil Bomb Maker soon found Sam's spare tool pouch, reached in and snatched a carbon fiber utility dagger along with a bottle of liquid cement. Mouse used the dagger to free her hands before pocketing the knife and the liquid cement. She then put the pouch back where she found it. A second later, she grabbed her backpack. Bench Press had laid out Mouse and Danny Blue's gear alongside the bounty hunters, but he'd never searched their bags. Mouse reached into her backpack and pulled out the last of her goodies, a soup can-sized limpet bomb just like the one she'd used to bust the boss out of the prisoner truck. She tucked her little bomb into the boot section of her radiation suit before grabbing a plastic briefcase that was atop of the stack of medical supplies. Upon opening the case, Mouse found a dozen flashbang grenades. There were 4 jerry cans placed near the doors, and Mouse carried her newfound treasures over to them. She picked the biggest plastic jerry can, sat next to it and unscrewed its top. With manual dexterity usually only seen in watchmakers, Mouse quickly eyeballed the diameter of a flashbang against the cap, and then used the knife to cut a hole through it. The hole was just the right size for sticking a flashbang into, and the Lil Bomb Maker pushed the flashbang halfway through the cap. She then sealed it airtight with the liquid cement. Mouse was in the process of screwing the cap back onto the jerry can, careful not to allow any air to remain inside. As she twisted the cap tight, the lady bounty hunter came running back into the bank. Laura immediately pointed her sawed-off shotgun at the Lil Bomb Maker and ordered her to get her hands up. The young girl calmly raised both of her hands in surrender, but she remained expressionless and stone-faced behind the visor of her radiation suit's helmet. The next one to come running into the bank was Sam. The team's breacher instantly recognized what their prisoner had just built, and he asked Laura not to point her shotgun at it.
"Laura, point your shotgun any old place but at that jerry can,"
Sam said in a near whisper. Laura heard Sam over her suit's radio. The wheelwoman kept her eyes locked on the girl as she lowered her weapon. Sam walked around Laura to where Mouse sat. The usually cocky smartass had both of his hands up with the palms facing forward as he carefully approached the girl, praying like hell he wouldn't startle her.
"It's okay,"
Sam said over his suit's exterior speakers as he moved closer.
"No one wants to hurt you."
As soon as he was close enough, Sam slowly lowered one of his hands onto the jerry can the girl had been fiddling with.
"Ain't no reason why we all can't be friends now,"
Sam said in as soft and gentle a tone as he could muster as he slowly pulled the jerry can away from the girl. Once he had the improvised explosive device far enough away from the girl, Sam used his free hand to signal Laura to secure her. The wheelwoman would have loved to slap the stupid out of their prisoner, but Laura just secured the girl's hands with spare rope from the stacks of gear. This time, Mouse's hands got secured behind her back. Laura glanced over at Sam and noticed he was still checking out the girl's destructive art project, staring at it the same way a guy with a small dick looks at a new car.
"Sam, what the hell are you doing?"
The wheelwoman asked.
"I think we just found us the builder of the half-pipe bomb that took out the bridge earlier,"
Sam said as he continued looking over the flashbang and jerry can doohickey.
"In just a couple minutes, our prisoner managed to MacGyver herself a genuine thermobaric device."
"A thermo what now?"
Laura asked.
An air fuel bomb.
Kyle answered as he carried Danny Blue into the bank. Kyle was followed in by Bench Press, who was still walking on wobbly legs. Sam was so impressed by Mouse's creation, he just had to explain how it worked.
When the flashbang goes pop inside the jerry can, the hydrostatic shock will burst the whole thing open like a water balloon dropped from an airplane. With gasoline splashing round like mist, the flash part of the flashbang will spark off the prettiest fireball y'all ever did see.
Sam then explained how thermobaric bombs suck up all the oxygen from the surrounding area, suffocating anyone nearby lucky enough not to have gotten their asses burned to a crisp or crushed by the shockwave. Kyle told his breacher to shut up before ordering him to get his ass up onto the roof and to take over for Slick. Sam acknowledged his orders and silently walked to the stairwell.
I'll be up to relieve you in 2 hours.
Kyle said to Sam over their suits' radios as he half-carried, half-dragged Danny Blue across the open room. Kyle carried Danny Blue all the way to where they'd found him earlier, the vault. Once inside the small metal room, Kyle dropped the unconscious terrorist like a sack of potatoes onto the same sleeping bag bed where he'd found the girl. Kyle stared down at his prisoner laying on the open sleeping bag and envied the bastard for how comfortable he looked. Satisfied their bounty wasn't going to make another escape attempt anytime soon, Kyle exited the vault. He walked back out from behind the remains of the cash counter and announced it was chow time.